Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're taking another look here at Bitcoin to see what's been going on most recently with the price action of BTC and what we think might actually happen next. Now, as I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. We do a lot more stuff down in Discord than we do on YouTube, so do go ahead and check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you discover. Right, let's jump on down here into Bitcoin and see what's been going on. So we're just going to start things off with the hourly chart, right? We are using Binance as the data source and we're paired up with the USDT. Now, on here, we can see that yesterday we had a really good run. It just looks like on this hourly chart that it's basically just like one wave, right? And it's not until you really break it down a little bit that you get a better idea as to what is actually going on here. Now, I can do this on the hourly chart, so I'll quickly show you this. So we've got the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 just coming up to here, wave 4, and a fifth wave higher. Now, when you do, if you drag this down into, let's say, 15-minute chart, it becomes a little bit clearer. You can quite clearly see these waves inside. Okay, now this is important because of what might actually happen next. Now I say it's a might because there's no guarantee of it, but there are 5 subwaves inside there. So by default of Elliott wave, we will start this with an A, but it might convert into a 1 wave later. Okay, this will then be our corrective move coming down, and this is just a simple ABC, and I think we are looking for that next move up, right? So if we were to just assume that this is straight away just an ABC move rather than an impulsive motive move, what we can do, of course, is measure that distance, and we can see this potentially moving out there towards $43,000, right? And this is good progress because Bitcoin has a few higher price targets that we're looking to hit, and once we hit those, then we can start to think about more comfortable corrective moves. Okay, so as I said, we've got 5 subwaves inside here. Okay, so we want to be quite cautious to a degree. So we have 5 subwaves. This is then followed up by our corrective ABC move just inside here. And what we really want to see, and we kind of see it starting, is wave 1, 2. It's too soon to know for sure, but I'd look for some kind of rally up, a 4th and a final 5th wave. Might take all weekend to play out. We'll see. And then we'll look for an additional corrective move. Okay, this one should not cross lower than the original high point that we've just had. So that would be $42,063 approximately, right? We cannot go higher than that point. So we cannot go lower than that point there, right? So we want to make sure that this corrective move stays above that point. If it does, then we potentially are also going to be looking at the next 5 waves, okay? Taking us up towards maybe the 45, 46, maybe even if we're super lucky about it all and the momentum is there and FOMO kicks in with some retail investors, we might see Bitcoin hit its actual target of $47,500, right? But we're a long way off from that yet. Okay, this is going to be way next week, to be honest. So timing is obviously the hardest thing to gauge. What we really want to focus in on right now is this next move up, right? We have a stochastic RSI on this hourly chart that is oversold. We want to slowly rise this up as the price moves quite nicely to the upside. What we don't want to see is the stochastic RSI move rapidly to the upside, become overbought, and we've made no progress here because they will end up falling down. Okay, and so although we have good wave counts, we can see here we've got this move up, and it is 5 waves, right? It is a 5-wave move. This is a 3-wave move. If we have small 3 waves, we could be looking at downward action. Okay, so what we really want to do is we want to see 5 waves up, which we've done just over here. We want to follow that up with the 3 waves, which are just over here, and the next section we want to see 5 waves right here. Okay, so if we can do that, then we should be looking progressively towards $43,800 for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at on the shorter time frame. Now, the 4-hourly chart, the stochastic RSI had moved down, right, nicely. We had the impulsive break and we've pulled back down. This is actually pretty good positioning for us to then go back up into the overbought area. So the 4-hourly chart would support this move here going up to about $43,500, $43,800, right? And it's important that we also acknowledge there's resistance right in here at $43,500. So that's just above the 786. So we want to be cautious on that. as well, because there is resistance right on this point. Okay, so as we kind of think about this, we've got the stochastic RSI on the hourly, the 4-hourly, that is supporting the next move up, with 43,800 being the target, 43,500 being the resistance. So I imagine that we probably will have a shallower C wave, or we'll have some kind of corrective move just on that resistance and then push on through it. So a couple of different options, too soon to really know, but something here is happening. On the 8-hourly, we're already overbought. Now, this isn't a problem because we can be up here for quite some time. We can have these little corrections that come in, take it back down and keep it back up in the overbought area. So ultimately, we are going to be looking at some kind of corrective action at some point. Am I concerned right now? Not whilst the 4-hourly and the hourly are oversold or in pretty good positions. I'm not overly worried or concerned about the 8-hourly chart being overbought, but it is something I'm keeping an eye on, because it is going to basically mean that we're going to find resistance a little bit easier than we might do if we were not so heavily overbought. And on the daily chart, we're just up in the overbought area again. Not a problem until we have everything aligned. But this is indicating that we are likely to see some form of corrective action, whether that is going to be up at 43, 44, 45, 47, I don't know. We can, of course, be up in the overbought area for quite some time. It all depends on the momentum behind the price action. If there's a lot of FOMO activity, we'll just stay up in the overbought for a little bit longer. But ultimately, we will be thinking about some kind of corrective action that will be due. And again, no one really knows where that's likely to go. It could be a very, very quick flash crash in the sense of the stochastic RSI goes from overbought to oversold, and maybe you only lose $2,000 off the bit price of Bitcoin, right? It's all about the momentum, and this is why the momentum indicators are so vitally important for understanding the activity in terms of the people who are actually buying and selling Bitcoin, right? So we need to know the momentum behind the price. Obviously, the target of 47,500 still stands. We haven't been invalidated on that, and that is still very much a target that we are looking for. There are lower targets of around $35,000, but for those to kind of come in, we're getting closer and closer to basically avoiding that. So if we go higher than our 42,600, which I think there's a high probability of, then basically we're going to raise that low level. Okay, so it won't be 35, it might be 36K, for example. Okay, but it's still very valid. Okay, so ultimately we are still looking pretty good, right? We have reasonably high targets that are looking difficult to get to. I think there's a lower probability of 47.5 right now than maybe 45. I think 45 is more probable, but I think 47, 45 is more probable than 35 right now. Okay, but I do think that until proven otherwise, both possibilities are valid, right? So we can move up or we can move down. And again, I get crucified for saying that, but I want to present you with both sides of the argument. I think it's more probable that we push up than we push down, but it is very possible that we push down. Okay, so be very mindful. I'm here to kind of tell you what I can see inside the data. I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice. It's for you to do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and make your own assumptions on what I am presenting to you, right? But ultimately here inside the data, I think there's higher probability of going up. The higher that we push up, the higher that we actually raise this low target. So the potential corrections that follow become shallower, and all of that kind of good stuff. So when we take a look at this low point of 36K down here, if we breach this origin level with it's invalid and we don't have to worry about it, we can continue with our lives. And this B wave low target, as soon as we go higher than 45.5, that's also invalid. So we are then looking progressively towards the 47.5K. Okay, and vice versa. If we want to, come down lower, we'd have to drop down quite significantly and lose this low point of support at around $37,000 in order to kind of invalidate the higher points. Okay, so for us right now, it's very, very probable that we push up rather than push down. Okay, just to be kind of really crystal clear on that. So when we think about long term, we have the rather complicated corrective move here that is looking like a running flat corrective move. Not really predicting out that we're going to drop down to you know, $21,000 or $25,000. They're possible until proven otherwise, though. So we're you know, open to the idea, the concept of it, but I don't think they are probable. I think there's a higher probability that we now complete the run-in flat and we move on up. Of course, we cannot prove or disprove one of those theories until we actually set a new all-time high or go down into new lower lows. Those are the only ways that you can prove or disprove the wave counts, right? So whether or not we want to think about this is a big A, B, come down into that 25K range, C wave complete, the only way to prove that wrong is to set a new all-time high. Likewise, I think here we are on a running flat. A, B, C finishes a little bit shorter. The only way to disprove this is to either set a new all-time high or to come down lower, right? So we're in that kind of situation where this particular pattern, this complex fourth wave corrective move, can be multiple different things depending on the perspective of the analyst who is drawing it, okay? Now, we did a lot of invalidation right here, right? We moved up with this nice A wave. We bought the dip on this B wave and we're riding it up into the C wave, right? Now, this is a complex correction. This A wave here, and the reason that we bought the B wave was that we invalidated a lot of moves going down lower, right? So it's not an impulsive move, right? And I know some people are saying it's wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and that simply isn't the fact, because wave 4 is never allowed to cross wave 1, right? And it's an unbreakable rule. So we know that that is not what's going on here. It's not an impulsive move down, it's an ABC move down and an ABC move up, right? And after this, we'd have an ABC down, right? We don't know where that's going to go, but there's going to be an ABC down. Or alternatively, this is actually going to turn impulsive and we go up into the new all-time highs, right? Also another possibility. So it's important that we understand, right, that if I'm right in this thinking of what I've got plotted out here, then this is actually a flat correction and we're now looking at corrective moves. What I would want to see is that C wave go impulsive, and I would like to see us move up into new all-time highs. If, however, we lose this low point of this C wave here, so that's lower than $32,000, then I think that's pretty much saying that we are coming down here, right, into those 25K ranges, right? But I think there's a low probability of that, okay? But I'm open to the idea, but I just think there's a low probability of it. And the reason for this is the stochastic RSI on both the monthly and the weekly does not indicate the momentum required to do such a move, right? It's possible to come down there, but I don't think it's probable right now. And to kind of take a look at that on the monthly, you can see that we're right in the ground, in the same place that we were back in 2019 at the start of this bull run for Bitcoin. Right, so I'll just draw this up on our weekly chart. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. All of this is a complex wave 4, and then we go up into the fifth final wave, right? So where we are on this monthly chart is right where the start of the bull run was. This was when Bitcoin was effectively just under $3,000, right? So just get your head around that. So we've obviously then come all the way down. The momentum behind this price is in the same position when Bitcoin was that low of value. We are likely to see a very impulsive move here with wave 5. And I think we are already there. I don't think there's enough momentum behind Bitcoin to see it come down to $21,000, $25,000, whatever low target you have, because the stochastic RSI is already dirt bottom. It's rock bottom, right? And it's really difficult to see this thing, drop down to significant lows whilst that stochastic RSI is where it is. Now, the weekly has moved a little bit more than I would like. So this will indicate there is going to be some kind of drop coming, in a similar way that we might have seen over here, for example, right? So we should be open to the idea there's some kind of corrective play to be had. But obviously at the time of this going on, the stochastic RSI on the monthly was vastly different. It was overbought, right? And now we're oversold. So to be in a very similar position, I think it's very unlikely we're going to see a huge drop with Bitcoin. And instead, we'll see some kind of corrective action. It might be just a small ABC, and then we kind of launch. Or alternatively, we actually just take this all the way up. We have a small pullback in price, but a huge pullback on the stochastic, and then we continue the rally with an impulsive move to the upside. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. There's a kind of a lot of things to kind of think about, lots of things you kind of have to consider. But if you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.